See, last class we just talked about different manufacturing processes used in MMC. In that one, we just discussed about solid state method, that is diffusion bonding and powder metallurgy. There is one more method of manufacturing MMC, that is metal matrix composites, that is liquid state method. In that one, stir casting is there, squeeze casting is there. We will going to discuss these two methods of manufacturing in this class, right? And in the last class, we just thought about diffusion bonding, how it works, and what are the advantages, disadvantages, applications, and powder metallurgy. What are these applications, advantages, and applications, right? Now we'll come to in a liquid state. See, in a liquid state, as I told that there are two methods. One is stir casting, one more is squeeze casting. Now you can see here the stir casting. Name itself telling that stirring is nothing but mixing, the kind of mixing. See, generally it consists of this level of processes, right? And this was the actual figure where exactly the stir casting is going to be taken place. Now come to first we are going to discuss about what is the steps involved in stir casting, right? Now see here, the first most step is going to melting of matrix material. Matrix material is nothing but, see, in the previous class we discussed about what are the different types of matrix will supposed to be used in a metal matrix composite, that is aluminum, magnesium, copper, titanium. First, what we're going to do, we're going to melt the required matrix material, right? Melting required matrix melting can be taken place in furnace or somewhere outsourced methods, right? After melting, what we're going to do, the stirring of molten metal by mechanical stirrer. See, then molten metal has to be stirred because whatever the molten metal should not be solidified and it should be completely stirred and it should be uniform in manner. That's why we're going to stir the molten metal. The next step is going to feeding of reinforcement material. See, with this molten metal, we need to reinforce, means reinforcement of any other material or metal, right? We're going to mix into the molten metal, right? And meanwhile, you're going to stir. See, feeding is going to be uniform one. You're going to feed reinforcement. Reinforcement may be aluminum carbide and some other reinforced materials which has been discussed in a previous class, right? Then see after feeding, see here the continuous stirring of mixture should be taken place. Why you have to stir the complete the stirring mixture of it should be uniform distribution of this reinforcement materials into the matrix material. That was to maintain that one. The stirring is should be continuous one, right, Arun? See after that, once the stirring is going to be completed, once the mixing is going to be completed, the pouring of mixture into mold cavity. See, we need to create a mold cavity as per our required dimension and required shape. Whatever the mixture of matrix and the reinforcement, that has to be poured in a mold cavity. Later, it has to be solidified. This was the actual process of stir casting, right? Now we can see the same process here, there is an electric motor because if as I mentioned there should be a steering, that is should be a mechanical stirrer, there should be a motor. This is also the shaft which is going to be completely rotating in a manner. Because of this electric motor, the shaft rotates clockwise or anti-clockwise, that depends upon our application, right? Then stirrer screw, just the shaft is going to be screwed here, and this was the reinforcement. Reinforcement, as I mentioned, reinforcement may be of any material with respect to required matrix material. And this was the furnace. See, already furnace, in the furnace the molten metal has been prepared, right, with a crude rotor. This was the rotor and liquid molten metal. See, this was the matrix material. As I mentioned here, melting of matrix material. First, we're going to melt the matrix material. That whatever the red color you're seeing here. This is the matrix material. The first step. Then this matrix material is going to be completely stirring. Stirring is going to be taken place. That was the second step. Stirring is going to take place by means of electric motor. That is going to mechanical one. Then feeding. See, here we are feeding reinforcement of different material in terms of particulates, not a continuous one. Discontinued particulates or fibers are feed into the molten metal. Feed into the molten metal. That was the third step. Once the molten metal is feeded into the molten metal, reinforcement is feeded into the molten metal, the continuous stirring has to be taken place. Feeding, stirring into the molten metal. This two three process should be a continuous one, so that uniform distribution of the reinforcement in the molten metal is going to be taken place. After that, we need to take out this cucudal outside and pour into the mold cavity. Then we need to allow it to solidify. Once it has been solidified, you can go for machining or something according to our shape and size. Then that is going to be your exact shape. See here, we need to take care of that here. What are the molten metal temperature? What are the molten metal temperature? Should be less than of melting temperature of this reinforcement. What happens if the this temperature is going to be high, melting temperature of molten metal, matrix metal is going to be high, and reinforcement is going to be less. As soon as if reinforcement is going to be poured or feed into the molten metal, the reinforcement material starts to melt, and there is no meaning of feeding or feeding of matrix reinforcement into the matrix material. Which means that we should be taken care that we should select before that what kind of matrix should be, what kind of reinforcement should be, right? Depends upon requirement, how many particulates has to be poured. See, generally 30% of volume is going to be allowed of reinforcement in a stir casting. That's it, not more than that. We need to calculate, depends upon molten metal and reinforcement, how much is supposed to be poured. This was the working condition of or working of steel casting process, right? And one more thing, and the electric motor, the speed of electric motor is also depends upon what kind of amount of uniformity we require, right? That was the thing. Then come to next one. What are the advantage of this one? See, advantage of steel casting, elimination of porosity and shrinkage, because we know that in a mold cavity, when you're going to pour a material, there is a problem of there is a defects called shrinkage and porosity that is going to be eliminated. 100% cast steel, there is no wastage, all those things. Uh, Attainment of greater part details, which means that we can achieve greater dimensional accuracies and good tolerance, right? Good finishing, surface finishing, high strength to weight ratio, improved weight resistance. If you want to improve the weight resistance, we can obtain, we can go for different MMC, right? And these are some other parameters. Now come here, what are disadvantages? The major disadvantage is going to be cost are very high due to complex in tooling. Tooling is nothing but this. See, there are different processes here. The furnace itself is going to be costly one, and melting and it's going to be hazards one, and the stir motor cost, maintenance cost. These are going to be very high. That's why the major disadvantage is going to be tooling cost is going to be high. No flexible as tooling. See here, there is a chances of improper mixture of reinforcement. There is chances of improper mixture of reinforcement in the molten metal. That is going to be another disadvantage. That's why no flexibility as tooling dedicated to specific components. Process needed accurately control. See, as told that if the whatever the feeding of reinforcement is going to be not in a uniform way. What happens? The mixture of reinforcement in the molten metal not taken place uniformly. Then it leads to at one part it's going to be high in a strength, at low at another part it's going to be less in a strength, where the particulates are more at that part, uniform distributed at that part, uh, the strength and other parameters are high, where the particulates are very less in a component, at that part the strength is going to be less. It means that feeding or processing needs very accurate one, right? Then high cost mean high production volumes. If you want to go for mass production, again we required large components, I mean large size components. That was the other disadvantage. And what are the applications? See, there are plenty number of applications since our staff members also doing the same, using the same method of manufacturing. See, in automobile, given engine parts, suspension, driveline, housing, brakes, disc brake, all these are different parts of an automobile made up of steel casting. In aerospace applications also, missile fins, aircraft electrical AC doors, and jet engine blade. In a sports application, tennis rackets, bicycle frame, wheels, golf, everything. These are all different applications.